Let me share with you what has happened to me in the last few years. I've been diagnosed with cancer in my lymph system. Secondly, my wonderful wife, the love of my life of 52, but more than 52 years now, was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And finally it got so I could no longer care for her at home and had to put her in a facility. And then another event that took place, we have 10 grandchildren. 2 of them were called home to be with the Lord. I wept over that. That was tough. And I sought the Bible for solace. And at first, I just didn't understand it. But in Philippians 4, verses 4 to 7, and it says, rejoice. Again, I say rejoice. I always laugh at that because how many times does God say, call a man's name twice? You wives know that a guy you got to get his attention, got to tell him twice. How many times did God say, Abraham, Abraham, or Moses, Moses, or Saul, Saul? And the fact of the matter is, God gets our attention, but here he says, rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say rejoice. Boy, that should get our attention. With thanksgiving, let your needs be made known to God. I read that for many years, and I thought, with thanksgiving, thanking him for his answers. And I was reading that, and I believe the Spirit of God just conveyed to me, with thanksgiving means being thankful for the trial, the difficulties through which we pass. Wow, that just, I was so impressed. And the peace of God, which surpasses all comprehension, will guard your heart and mind in Christ Jesus. I came to faith in 1971, and that was when I made peace with God. But as I've grown, I've discovered he gives me peace of God. When I lost those 2 of our 10 grandchildren, my heart grieved deeply. And yet, I've come to realize God's in absolute control. And I've been so grateful to him for that. And as a result, he has given me his peace. Now, if I said I have the peace all the time, I'd be lying. I am sorry. I fail. But I try to reclaim it. I ask God, confess it to him, and try to reclaim it. And he gives it back to me. And you just smile. You just have that peace. Some years ago, Pastor Dave Bechtel preached a sermon. If anybody was around at that time, you know that he was a big cat person. And he talked about, some cats you pick up and their claws come out and there's, fur rises and they fight. But others, you can just pick up in your hand and they lean back. And they're just soft like a dish rag because they fully trust and fully yield. And I know in my case, I want to be a dish rag kitty. Just like I said, rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say rejoice, but with prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving. But that's thanksgiving, as I said, is not just thanking him for answers, thanking him for the problems. Ephesians 5:20 says, always thank God for everything. In 1 Thessalonians 5:18 says, thank God in all circumstances. So you put those together, thank God in all circumstances, always, for everything. You'd say, even the death of 2 children, even coming down with cancer, even coming down with Alzheimer's. Thank him for that? You bet. That's part of his plan, and he's got a much bigger plan. And that's all going to work to his advantage.